Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Listen and grow as Del questions the status quo, encourages you to think differently, and empowers you to make a better life. Get ready as Del challenges core beliefs, seeks the truth, and reveals the roadmap to the lifestyle you really want. And now your host, multi-millionaire, national award-winning investor, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, Del Walmsley.
Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. I'm your host, Del Walmsley, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom. Today, my friends, we're going to go to the mailbag, and we've got a couple really good questions. People ask me all the time, Del, why don't you bring up the negative side of real estate? Well, today I'm going to bring up the negative side of real estate. I hope you all enjoy. You've asked for it. I will bring it. Actually, the reason I'm bringing it is because I've been getting these emails, and they're questions that if you've taken my class or understand what we really do or listen to this radio show for many years, you will already understand. But I understand that many of you just pick this radio show up for the first time and you have no real idea, and you've got a lot of skepticism, and people say, well, where's the negative stuff? Well, I'm going to cover some of the negative stuff today. Before we get started, though, I want you to understand, whether you realize it or not, if you're brand new or if you've been listening for a long time, you know that the market has changed. It has gone from being a seller's market where the prices were going up, and the cash flow was going down, to where there's almost no cash flow, and the prices were so egregiously high that you couldn't get a loan for an 80% loan. You had to go for 60, 70, 60, 50. They're all the way down to 50% loans. You had to put 50% down because the properties weren't worth what you were paying to buy them. The market was paying to buy them, and so the bank wouldn't lend the 80% they normally lend on these deals. These deals are now upside down. Interest rates have come up. The interest rates had got as low as 2.75. Now they're up at 7%, 8% in some single-family situations. And these deals are upside down. And I'm talking mostly about multifamily. Single-family deals there's no problem with. But on the multifamily deals where they paid way too much for these properties, right? These properties are now in trouble because they put short-term interest-only adjustable rate interest loans on these things. Now, for 3 years, I've screamed at the top of my lungs, don't do this. And people did it. And you want to hear the negative side? The negative side is that once you teach people how to make millions of dollars by buying and operating and selling real estate, they become arrogant, because you may work your entire life and never save up $1 million. If you go out and do one of these deals and make $1 million in a year or two, all of a sudden you go, well, wow, my stuff doesn't stink anymore. I actually one of those guys that's the smartest guy in the room, the sharpest blade in the drawer, the sharpest knife in the drawer. And it's an amazing thing to watch happen, where full-grown men and women decide instantly that they're the smartest person that was ever alive because they simply learned to use a tool that I taught them how to use. It's kind of scary. It's kind of like a gun. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. And whenever I have new friends that I've introduced to, guns, I take them through a complete safety training process at my house before I ever take them to the range. And the same thing is true here. We take you through a safety program that teaches you, Rule 1, never lose money. Rule 2, there's got to be cash flow. And Rule 3, you can't get rich slow. You got to keep leveraging and keep growing your business, right? Those are simple concepts. But they're concepts that people either don't want to hear, they don't pay attention to, because a lot of people, when you teach them things, are only hearing what they want to hear. In other words, they're listening for the one or two taglines that match up with what they think to be true, instead of all of the massive amounts of detail. So at this point, because the market's so different, even my mentors and stuff had to be recalibrated. So I've had meetings with my mentors and meetings with everybody. I'm doing emails to people, hundreds of emails a week now, to people who are telling me, I got into this stuff you told us not to get into. How do I get out of it? Today we'll discuss some of that. But the bottom line is I am going to go back and give seminars again. I haven't given seminars for years. I mean years. I did one in Houston, and we have a 400-person room, and 1,400 people signed up for 400 seats. Needless to say, if you want to get into one of these seminars I'm giving, because we're not doing them in big giant halls. We're doing them in our offices, which hold about 400 people each. You're going to need to get here. You need to get here live, and you need to be in there where you can work with me. You can ask questions. That's what you need to do. And if you want to do that, I've got a seminar coming up in November in Dallas. It's going to be November 18th and 19th in Dallas, and you don't want to miss it. And you do want to register now. This will sell out, I'm telling you. We had 1,400 people register for 400 seats in Houston. This will sell out. You need to get online and get yourself a seat as soon as possible. Now, I will have a case study Thursday night of that week, because this seminar is Saturday and Sunday, but we will have a case study Thursday night. And what is important about the case study is that we're going to bring people on a single family deal and a multifamily deal that have currently, recently done deals, and have them explain to you what they did. Why? Because you don't believe everything I say, but you will believe people just like yourself who get up there and say, look, I had no idea how to do real estate until I learned. I learned how to do it. It's been effective, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to attend that also, that's Thursday night, the 16th of November. Now, what is a great thing to do? You want to take a vacation. You want to have a great vacation and change your life. Make a weekend of it. Get in there, fly in there, drive in there Thursday night, see me. Friday, I'm going to go get a massage, and then I'm sure my wife, if she's with me, will go shopping. We'll go shopping, the sightseeing, and Friday night, dinner and party. So if people come into town, we'll meet with them. Whatever, we'll network. Saturday and Sunday, I'll be working. And then, of course, Sunday night, I'll be beat. I want to just leave town. But I'll be there. I'm going to be there for 4 days. I'm going to be around. If you're there, if you're in the hotels around where we're at, we will be meeting at night and, networking and so forth. So this is a big weekend. You're going to need to get registered to get to it. It's November 18th and 19th for the 2-day seminar. And I will be covering the marketing situation of how to negotiate these deals in this current market. You will get the regular seminar also, but I'm going to squeeze in some additional information that would not normally be in the seminar, because normally the markets, we just consider they're always the same. Whether they're going up a little bit or going down is irrelevant. But this is a major market change. So I want to spend some time on it, and I will squeeze it in and take out some of the minutia detail that we normally put in there. But hey, when you're drinking a fire hose, right? Drinking from a fire hose, if a little bit of it splashes onto the side and you miss it, it won't hurt you, because you can pick it up in the rest of the training classes. So again, make your reservations. Get online, Lifestyles Unlimited Inc. online, November 18th and 19th. Moving ahead, we have the mailbag here today, and we've got some good questions. The first one, I'll read it, and then we'll see if we have time to discuss it this segment or if we have to pick it up next week. It says, Del, I've been an LU member for years now, and I am a preferred member. I've been telling people and bringing people for 2 days for a long time. I get the question, what do you mean retire in 3 to 5 years? All right, because basically our claim is that most people here retire in 3 to 5 years. LU people are some of the hardest working people I've met, so they still working in some manner, extensive hours on these properties, especially leads, since I already doing this myself, meaning I've already been buying homes and renting them. I just have done it better since I've joined, a lot better. I've never did that kind of work, but you can clarify quantify what you mean by retire on the radio so that we'll understand it. Well, let's take a look at it. What we're basically saying is, and when I first wrote the book on how to do this, I said 5 to 7 years, and then people just started doing it in 2 to 5 years, and so they changed it to 3 to 5 years. But there's a whole group of them out there that retired in 2 years or less. They call themselves the deuces. It's kind of a brag thing that, hey, I got retired in 2 years or less. What does it mean to be retired? Being retired in our group means that you've replaced your earned income with passive income. If you can replace your earned income, all you have to replace is your take-home pay. The rest of it's irrelevant. You don't need to fund a 401k if you're retired. And you do need to buy insurance. So you will need to look at that cost as something to look at. But you don't need to pay or income taxes or Social Security, Medicare, because what we do, the earnings we make, are not subject to Social Security and Medicare. And they're only subject to income if you do it incorrectly. If you do it the way we teach you, then you are going to defer those income taxes for the rest of your life. And we do it. People do it all the time. So in this situation, our motto is most people can come in here and take what they have as far as investable dollars and return or find and put together investments that will create a return that within 3 to 5 years, most people are able to put together, save enough money, put it into enough investments to replace their actual earned income. Now, let's follow that up with this comment. What if you have a really neat job that you put a lot of time in college to become a doctor or a lawyer or CPA or whatever, and you like doing your job? Or if you just have a job that's, something you like doing, like being a nurse or whatever, you just want to give back, a teacher. No one said you had to quit your job. To replace your earned income, to double your income is what you're basically saying. In other words, if you don't want to quit your job, you just go ahead and live with double the income. You've got your earned income and you've got your passive income. So you have retired, right? If you want to. But you're now going to work because you want to, not because you have to. So why does this guy not get it? I kept asking him. I went through quite a few emails back and forth with him to try to get it cleared up. And what I found out was through a couple of emails back and forth is that this guy doesn't have a job. What this guy does is he flips real estate for a living. And he was embarrassed to say the word flipping because he knows I don't like flipping. But let me tell you why I don't like flipping. Flipping is a job. It is go, locate a deal, work, find the deal, negotiate the deal, contract the deal, find somebody to sell the deal to, maybe even rehab the deal and then sell it and make money. He says, that's how I make money. I buy one, flip one, buy one, keep one. And he's got about seven houses now, I believe. He's got about $3,000 a month positive cash flow. He didn't get to yet in the conversation what it's going to take for him. I've asked him, but we haven't got it back and forth yet, what it would take him to retire. But there is a number out there at some point, unless he's just egomaniacal. And there are a lot of people out there that there's never enough. So he's got $3,000 a month now. Would $5,000 a month retire him? Because earning $5,000 a month is actually like earning $7,000 a month at a job. Earning $3,000 a month is like earning $5,000 a month at a job, right? So what number does he need to retire? And at that point, then he doesn't need to be flipping anymore. Flipping is the job. When we come back, we're going to talk about another job in real estate called being a lead investor. Take a short break. Be right back with the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Teaching you with a roadmap to creating the lifestyle you really want. Keep listening. The Del Walmsley Radio Show returns in moments.
What does Del Walmsley, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, think you need to succeed in this market?
It's time to buy, and so you better get prepared, you better get educated, you better get your money right. You need to get involved because you're going to need the financing. You're going to need the vendors that we have available to us. You're just going to need the interaction with people. You need to immerse yourself into real estate.
Start your real estate immersion with a free workshop live online at lifestylesunlimitedworkshop.com.
You're hearing the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Want more life-changing knowledge? Access our podcast and listen on demand at lifestylesunlimited.com under the radio tab. Now your host, Del Walmsley.
Welcome back to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Today we are in the mailbag, and the question that has come up, we've been discussing here for a couple segments, has been what does it mean to retire? And this gentleman here doesn't understand what retiring in real estate means because he's using real estate as a job. He's flipping real estate deals. And that is a job. There's no doubt about it. You get paid earned income when you flip stuff. You're paying taxes on it. It's not tax-free like the stuff we do. However, he is building a portfolio, and I hope he will, after hearing this radio show, understand that he's got to just keep building that portfolio and then eventually decide he wants to stop doing all this work. Now, he also brought up the fact that these lead investors do a lot of work. Well, what happens is some people come to Lifestyles and they want to be syndicators. And a syndicator is someone that puts a business together and raises capital to go out there and buy, renovate, and operate apartment complexes. In doing so, it is a job because guess what? You're raising capital to start a business, and these people that are putting capital in your deal expect you to go to work and make it work. The nice thing about it is, though, it's not a formal job. You don't have a 9-to-5 specific job, a place to be, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You just have to operate your business, which can be done from home some of the time, and some of the time you need to be on site of different properties. Now, where these guys end up making a mistake is that they overdevelop these businesses and they have so much going on that they really don't have a life anymore. I have real estate. I don't work in my real estate. I have a property management company. I don't work in my property management company. I have real estate sales companies where we sell real estate to people. I don't work in my real estate sales businesses. So as a guy, as a flipper, right? He's working in his real estate sales business, buying and selling real estate. We're selling in real estate, but I don't do it. And in my real estate business, I own and operate apartment complexes. I don't do the operations. So I am not busy. What do? I own and operate many, many, many companies, one of which is Lifestyles Unlimited, which is a educational and mentoring company, and that's the one that I work in. And I haven't done much as far as seminars or anything for years. And however, this is a good point to plug the fact that I am coming back because the market is changing so much. And so I am going to be back. Let's see here. Let's make sure I get this right. I'm going to be in Dallas. If you're just tuning in, haven't heard this, I'm going to be in Dallas November 18th and 19th. And for a 2-day seminar, and I'm going to explain how this marketplace has changed, how to negotiate the deals, and everything else that comes with teaching the seminar. It's a regular training seminar, but I'm adding additional material to it. Case study on November 16th, which is a Thursday evening, so you might want to make a weekend of it, but whatever, you need to be there for 18th and 19th to learn about what's going on and how to make this stuff work. You're going to need to get a reservation for that. Go to Lifestyles Unlimited Incorporated, get a reservation, because when I taught in Houston, I haven't taught very often, in fact, only once in years. And this will be the second time in years. Last time we did it, we had 1,400 people sign up for a 400-seat auditorium. We're only going to have a 400-seat auditorium. Again, you need to get your reservation or you won't get it. So here we said it. This guy is saying there's no real retirement. Yes, there is. I live it, and so do thousands of other Lifestyles members. You have to decide what is enough income you can live off of and that you don't want to work anymore, because many, many people still want to work. Now, this leads me into the comment of the negative part. Why don't you ever talk about the negative stuff? Well, I'm going to talk about the negative stuff. I've got 2 emails here in front of me, and I guess I'm just going to not read the emails because they have specific people's names in them that are non-members. They're no longer members, but they're destroying the deals these people are in. Many people join Lifestyles, and then they become arrogant. They get big-headed, and they think that they can't do wrong. And these people are now and have been arrogantly buying everything they can get their hands on for the last 3 years. The bigger your head, the more arrogant you are, the smarter you think you are, the more you're going to fall for the fact that you think you can't fail. In life, we can all fail. And if you don't have some conservative genes in you, you will fail big. And big talkers fail big. And there are a couple people out there right now that have already lost hundreds of millions of dollars of real estate. Some have lost tens of millions of dollars of real estate. And it's a small group of people, but they're almost all of them rapid acquisitions guys that went out and bought and bought and bought and bought as fast as they could. And they bought in conditions that really were not producing great deals. But why did they do it, Del, if they weren't producing great deals? Because they wanted the fees. Everything is about the fees. They get a management fee. They get an override lead investor fee. Many of them were taking upfront acquisition fees and disposition fees. These guys all run by the tune of Grant Cardone. He is out there screaming and yelling, your money is my money. You should give me your money. You're an idiot unless you put your money in my deals. And Grant Cardone has kind of shut up lately. He's quieted down a little bit because he's being sued. And he's got deals that aren't working also. But the people that followed him don't have the pockets depth of money that Cardone can raise because he's so popular. These guys left lifestyles because they wanted to go do that kind of stuff, which is against the rules here at Lifestyle. You can't go out there and rapid acquisition like that without getting approval from the partners and all the passives and the deals and so on and so forth. So they said, look, I'm not going to do that. I'm the king here. And so they go out and they buy these deals. Now, here's the question that's in all these emails. Del, these guys are failing left and right, failing in almost every single deal they've done. Some of them 3, 4, 5 deals at one time are going kapooey. Because why? Because all of them will arrogantly tell you they had no way of knowing that interest rates were going to go from 3% to 7 or 8%. No way. Nobody in the whole marketplace world could have guessed that, Del. I was yelling it and screaming it. I've got videos of me. I played it at the last expo. Videos of me, 15 minutes of me showing you 3 years worth of videos of me telling you it was going to happen. Everybody that listened to me got out of the bad deals before this thing all turned around. Everybody who listened to me didn't get into the deals before this thing turned around. And we're all happy. But these people are not. These people, these arrogant people, are upside down on these deals. Now, the question that comes up, my friends, is this. Should we give them more money? They're asking for cash calls because these interest rates went from anywhere from 3 all the way up to 7, 8. I've heard of them as high as 10 now. And they're saying, well, if we can just get through this, we think this is all going to turn around in a year. Give me enough money to get through this problem. And then on the other side of it, right, on the other side of it, we'll come out of it. It's not going to be over in a year. Everything I've read shows the interest rates are not going back down within a year. Paying these people more money, throwing good money after bad money is bad money after bad money after bad money. And these people have proven that their guesstimation of the market was wrong and is wrong now. How can you give your money to someone who has lost your money already because they say they can fix it? Well, Del, have you ever done a cash call? I've actually put my own money in to save deals. Because the only time a cash call works is when it's a catastrophic event. For example, instead of the entire market crashing around you, you can't come out of that with a cash call. But let's say, for instance, we had a fire and we had to pay the deductible out of our pocket to get through the insurance claim and get the thing rebuilt and back online. I've put up the money before. If these leads are so rich, if they're so smart, if these syndicators are so powerfully rich and smart, why don't they put up their own money? They created these problems. Make them put up their own money. Don't give them any more money because they're taking it and putting it into their business and then sucking it out as management fees. See, they're getting paid to keep this thing operating. You're not getting paid to keep it operating. So the money you're giving to them is going directly through the business into their pocket. This is the dumbest thing any passive could do because they knew this was going to happen. They said, no normal human being can know this. I can show you on my radio show. I can show you in my seminars. We knew this was coming for a long time. Next email is, according to this article, it doesn't look like the demand for apartments in Texas will be letting up anytime soon. This article that came out, Texas poised to become the most populous state in the U.S. by 2100, which right now we're 2023, so that's about 77 years from now or whatever. But the bottom line is what they're saying is Texas the three big cities in Texas, which are San Antonio, Austin, Houston, and Dallas. That's 4 cities. They were actually saying Austin. Austin has already grown almost into San Antonio, and it is growing, probably one of the fastest growing cities in the country right now. Dallas is the fastest growing city, now that I think about it, in the country. Houston is another rapidly growing city. And what they're saying is there's going to be 90 million people between those cities. So what is predicted is that Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, and Houston will all grow together and be one gigantic metroplex with 90 million people in it. Unbelievable, right? Interesting thing is that it will replace New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago as number 1, 2, 3. Houston's right now the 4th largest city in the country. Those are the 3 largest cities in the country, and it will replace all 3 of them. So what does that tell you, if this means anything, right? And by the way, where did they get that data from? The data is from a company that tracks U-Hauls. Where are people moving? En mass number of people are moving out of California and out of New York and out of Chicago. Because why? Well, you think it through. I would suggest it's the politics. The politics are destroying the cities. It's destroying, how clean the place is, how safe the place is, and they're taxing the living bejeebers out of everybody. Their business practices, especially housing practices, are terrible for landlords. And so the money is moving away from these cities. Now, what I would suggest to you is think of this. It's not just the people that are moving out. It's the affluent people. The poor people are moving into these cities because they're giving them massive amounts of welfare. At some point, these cities got to go broke. And what they've already done is the Democratic committees in the National Convention has decided they're going to take national money, suck it up from every state in the union, and send it to these 3 big Democratic strongholds. Because they get all their votes there, because all those people give them delegates. They get votes. And so they're going to do everything they can do to keep these cities alive. What is that going to mean? More taxes, more governmental intervention. They've even said they want to pass a law in California that if you leave, you have to pay them income taxes on whatever you earn someplace else for 5 years. And I'm not making this stuff up. You can't make up the rules and laws they have in California. It's unbelievable. And they're going to figure it out eventually. They're going to figure out when there's no safe place to be, there's no police to arrive when you get, attacked, you get robbed in public and no one cares. All the major businesses are leaving San Francisco. They're going to eventually leave LA. They're going to figure it out. We can't do business here. We're getting robbed every day. So what does that mean to us? That means this. It doesn't mean you have to come to Texas. There are states all over the United States that are good, healthy places to invest your money. I have myself, I think I'm up to 13 different real estate companies throughout the country, because we're trying to put a real estate company everywhere there's a good place to invest so that our members from all over the country, no matter where they live, including California, we have tons of members from California, believe it or not. Tons of members, and they don't want to invest in California. They may love living there, which I can see why. It's a beautiful place. But they don't want to invest there because they see what's happening. So they're moving their money. So what have I done? I put real estate companies in every other place where it's safe to invest. And with that, my friends, I leave you with this message. It's not the money. It's the lifestyle. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.
The information and opinions you hear on the Del Walmsley radio show are those of the host, Del Walmsley, his guests, and his callers. The Del Walmsley show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Del Walmsley show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.